Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. We got the top 10 college football wide receivers entering the 2024 season. Let's check this out.
YouTube exclusive here on
Hey,
Always College
Luther Burton
Football.
about to be number one. And then number two,
positions.
I'll have to say
Running back.
McMillan.
Now it's time to do wide receiver. And to be honest with you,
Number three,
I
who
thought
would be number
receiver would be
three?
a lot easier than it was, but there's so many from college football this year. I mean, Malik Neighbors is gone. Rome Odunze is gone. Xavier Legette is gone. Troy Franklin's gone. So many great players from last year, statistically speaking, are no longer playing college football. So I had to dive a little bit deeper, which is perfectly fine. And there's a lot of really good players remaining.
Okay.
But this was a much more difficult list than I anticipated. A couple of notable exceptions. Casey Concepcion. I wanted to put him in so bad. I just thought he was so great last year at NC State. I wanted to find
I don't know who
a
that
place
is.
for
I'm
him.
about
I
to,
just
you know what I'm
couldn't
saying, check
quite
him
do
out.
it. But he was under significant consideration. I just couldn't find a place for him. But I love Casey Concepcion. I think he's going to have a great year this year. And I'm very optimistic about what NC State might be able to do. I mean, he's a star. Really feel good about it. So without much further ado, let's dive in. Number 10, Xavier Restrepo at Miami. Now, pretty quiet.
WW. Hey, he's probably one of the more underrated receivers.
Last year, school record 85.
He got great run after catch ability.
Miami Hurricane receiver to ever eclipse the 1,000 yard mark. And was a first team All ACC selection. And you look
like whenever I watched Miami's games, like his name just kept coming up, bro. He kept making plays and shit. Like he other than
Tyler Van Dyke, and
other than Tyler Van Dyke, you know what I'm saying, on that offense, he was the other like name that I kept hearing.
Quarterback's best friend. He's very friendly there in the slot, knows how to find and uncover.
Oh, their best playmaker, bro.
Situation. So I think he's poised for a big year this year. He comes in at number 10. At number 9, rolling the dice here a little bit. I'm going on talent and upside. I'm going to go with Evan Stewart at Oregon.
Stewart, the former 5-star.
To Oregon from Texas A&M back in January. And Tez Johnson and him make up one of the better duos.
Yeah, I forgot about Tez Johnson.
That was a little
and Emeka Egbuka as well. I thought he would, like, at the start of the season, I thought he was going to be coming out the draft this year, but he decided to stay back another year. And that's kind of smart on his part because he did deal with injuries last year.
True freshman with
you know what I'm saying? So hopefully he can
I am definitely rolling the dice
have a great year this year.
Not going to say I'm not, but I believe he's poised for a really big year with Dylan Gabriel and company, and in that offense.
Yeah, that Oregon offense is definitely finna be scary.
So I expect big things from him this upcoming season. At number 8, Alec Iomaner.
Oh, Iomaner. Okay.
Excuse me. He is.
Hey, I like how he's getting his recognition because what really this was the game right here that I really, you know what I'm saying, learned about him because he popped off. He was, bro. And then that head top catch he had against Travis Hunter, that shit was crazy. He had over 200 yards, I believe, this game.
So he missed all of his
Iomaner is,
but he was healthy.
He's the real deal.
Season, had a kind of a breakout campaign, and part of the reason why I'm so bullish about him, one, he's a big guy. He had 14 contested catches last year, which tied him 4th among Power 5 pass catchers. So he can go up and pluck the ball out of the air. But he was dealing with a very challenging quarterback situation. I mean, they just weren't able to really get
that catch right there. That shit was crazy.
To that position at any point last year. So I'm going with Iomaner as a guy.
I can't wait to see what the top 5 and top 3 is going to look like.
Certainly dependable weapon out there on the perimeter for the Cardinal. Let's go to number 7, a transfer from South Alabama. Now he is at Louisville. It's Colin Lacey.
Colin Lacey? I don't know who that is.
Slot receiver. He was number 1 in the country last year in receiving yards on screens, shallows, underneath.
The only receiver I knew from Louisville was Jamari Thrash
underneath catch and
last
run
year.
Situations. Like, that guy's awesome. First in yards after catch, first in yards after contact. Get him the ball and let him.
Did he he transferred to Louisville this year?
Scatty guys that are great with the ball in their hands are not great down the field. Well, he is. He's excellent in the deep ball. He was one of the best in the country last year on throws that travel more than 20 yards downfield and averaged 14.5 yards per reception on the entire year, even though you're removing all those short underneath routes. So he was the go-to guy for South Alabama. Louisville made him a huge priority in the transfer portal, and he should have a big year in an offense that's going to design a lot of screens for him, a lot of catch and run situations. That's what Jeff Brom does. So it'll be really fun to watch him in that offense. At number 6, Trey Harris.
Considered
putting his
this nigga's
Juice
nice,
Wells in
bro.
there as well.
You know what I'm saying? If you watch Ole Miss games, bro, this nigga was always making plays. Another, you know what I'm saying? He's a pretty good deep threat as well. You know what I'm saying? Great run after catch guy.
Had a really nice season last year. After transferring over, he's really kind of
like he is a big play waiting to happen.
Go-to guy since being at Louisiana Tech a couple years ago. Did miss one game last year. Still finished with 54 catches on 9.
I was hoping he would have came out of the draft this year, bro.
He's got some athleticism.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was very high on Trey Harris last year.
Slot with Jordan Watkins, Caden Priestcorn at tight end. South Carolina transfer Juice Wells coming in. They're going to have a lot of one-on-one opportunities for Trey Harris to work. So I actually think his numbers are going to go up this year significantly because you're not going to be able to double him at any point because there's just too many weapons on the field for the Ole Miss Rebels. Let's go to number 5, a guy that you might not have heard of. Ricky White, UNLV.
White? Nah,
he's the only G5 player on the list.
But you put him over Trey Harris, though?
To be mentioned among some of the best.
That's very interesting. This nigga about to be good. Like, he about to be, like, elite or some shit. Because Trey Harris is elite, my nigga.
Had more receiving yards than Ricky White. That should tell you all you need.
Oh, he was at
Michigan State. He was second in the country at 3.8.
Oh, was he on the same team as Malachi Corley?
With a 34.8% target rate. What that translates to is that when UNLV was throwing it, they were throwing it at Ricky White. So you knew where it was going. You still couldn't stop it. It's a testament to their coaching staff, but it's also a testament to the fact that even though you try to do as much as you can to limit what Ricky White does, he's still going to get his. That's why he comes in at number 5 on the list and the only G5 receiver on the list for me. At number 4, Tez Johnson. Joining his buddy.
Top 3. I could already guess what the top 3 is going to be. Ibuka, McMillan, and Luther Burden.
Who was just a couple picks.
That's got to be the top 3, right?
Year last year, 86 catches, 1,182 yards, and 10 touchdowns. And the thing about
Oregon might be a problem this year.
The number 2 receiver last year. I mean, there's very few receivers in the country. They're going to have as much production at the number 2 spot as Tez Johnson did last year. Troy Franklin was unbelievable. 80 catches for 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns. He was right there. Didn't take a backseat to him at all. So if you look at what they bring back, a lot of what Johnson does, he's really good before the catch and creating short area quickness and creating some immediate separation. But he's also great after the catch as well.
Yeah.
One thing that I was
he's so fucking fast too.
In contested catch situations. He was really good. Being able to go up and make some of those plays that were well defended. So he's really reliable and is a guy that I think with Dylan Gabriel is going to have a big time season here in 2024.
In the top 3 now.
Top 3 are pretty standard. If you kind of look across the board, everybody kind of has the exact same top 3. And at number 3, it's Emeka Egbuka.
Yes, sir. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to football knowledge and shit, bro. Like nowadays, you know what I'm saying? I'm on top of my shit. You feel me?
Last year, you'd probably be in the top 3 last year.
Cause like when I'm not recording like videos, like NFL videos and shit, like I'm looking at highlights and tape of other players and shit like that, so I can, you know what I'm saying, get familiar with most of the guys.
It was a little banged up, never really got going. But if you look back 2 years ago, he had
I do my research, bro.
Touchdowns on 74 catches. So I think he is poised to have a really nice bounce back season and develop a really solid rapport with Will Howard, the transfer quarterback from Kansas State. So he's got big time speed. He can play in the slot. He can play on the outside.
And they've got a lot of good other receivers there too. The 2 freshmen from last year.
Very difficult to put this guy number 2. Just how
forgot their fucking name. Cardinal Tate and Brandon Ennis.
Tetraroic McMillan.
Yeah, McMillan. Yes, sir.
Year as a freshman in 2022, caught 38.
That's what I'm talking about.
For 702 yards. But my goodness, did he break out last year? Went for 1,400 yards last season. And led Arizona.
I didn't know about him until halfway through the season.
Second time in more than 2 decades. So no power conference receiver had more receiving yards than he did last year.
Damn.
And he gets to now come back with his buddy Noah Fafita. They're going to stay there in Tucson, even though Jed Fish decided to leave. It's going to be huge for him to kind of usher in a new era as he moves into the Big 12. And looking at some of the Big 12 secondaries, he might be able to feast from time to time. He's very difficult to cover. He's got great body control and should be a massive weapon in the new look Big 12. And then number 1, it's Luther Burden.
Missouri.
Now,
This nigga.
What I love about Luther Burden is his versatility. You look at him a couple years ago, they just tried to manufacture ways to get him the ball. He was used in a lot of different ways too. Catch and run situations, they handed it off to him, jet sweep to him, get him involved in the return game.
Wasn't he in the Heisman conversation too at one point?
He's strong. He's not crazy long. He's only 5'11", but he feels and plays much bigger than that. He had 725 yards after catch last year. That was third among
what would his comparison be?
Season, and
like
14 receiving yards after contact.
More elite version of Deebo Samuel.
So he, I think, after last
who can
season,
actually, you know what I'm saying, run crispy routes and shit like that.
What's amazing is he gained 114 yards or more in 5 straight games.
I think that would be my.
But he was one to kind of do the dirty work at times, knowing that Cody Schrader and the offense really morphed into really a run-first style of attack. Now, they're probably not going to be able to run it as effectively as they did last year. Let's just be real. It's going to be hard to replicate that performance on the ground, which means it's going to put a little bit more pressure on Burden and company, but I think he is poised to handle the task. He is the best returning receiver.
I'm okay with this list, bro. I'm okay with this list. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I got the top 3 right with Luther Burden. I don't know how to say his name quite yet, but McMillan. So I'm gonna learn how to say his name. Emeka Ibuka, you know what I'm saying? These are my top 3 as well heading into the season. Tez Johnson, yeah. Ricky White and this dude right here, I have no idea who those guys are, so I'm gonna check out their highlights. But Trey Harris, I agree on this list. Io Manor, Evan Stewart, and Restrepo as well. You know what I'm saying? This is a fire list, bro. I respect this list.
Poised to handle the task. He is the best returning receiver in the sport here in 24.
Hey, man. What do you guys think, bro? I think it was a W list. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think, dog? That's what I want to know. I want to know what you guys think. Y'all let me know down in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Turn on post notifications, you're notified whenever I drop another banger video on the road to 200 subs. Help me get there for more banger content like this. And without further ado, I'm out. Gang!